Good evening and welcome back to Talking Hoops. It's been a few weeks. We have lots to catch up on, lots to talk about. First, I want to start off with the introduction of the lovely Coach Mac and the Ron Briscoe. We are short a member tonight as he had some uh, prior obligations to take care of, but we will miss him. He will get to watch this, and I'm sure he will have lots to say when he returns, and that is Darius Rice. When he returns next week, I'm sure, I'm sure I will be won't hear the end of it. But to start off with, welcome back. I know we have not gotten a chance to sit and talk basketball. But when one thing that we have to highlight, and I'm sure you guys already knew what I was going to start off with, and that is USA winning the most gold medals in the Olympics. And the women's basketball team pushed them over the edge and gave them that final gold medal in an unbelievable win over
Mm.
France. What a game. Okay, both games,
Ooh.
really, both games. But I want to highlight some Olympic stats that occurred. As we know, LeBron James, the LeBron James, finished with Team USA MVP, led in all categories. Again, just that's just what he does. Not only that, but LeBron making history once again. He recorded the fourth ever triple double in USA basketball history, in Olympic history. And out of the four, LeBron James with two. And here he is doing that all while he is on the horizon of turning 40 at the end of December.
Wow. Amazing.
Thank you, Coach Mac. Thank you. I love the sound of silence when we talk about LeBron.
You was finished? You was finished? Oh, I didn't know you was finished. I thought you had something else to say about LeBron. I didn't know you was finished.
We
But
could pause on LeBron, actually,
no,
Ron.
no, no,
Great
no. We
idea.
can we can
Great
talk about
idea.
we're gonna talk about LeBron since you brought it up, since you went and patted him and you boost so much about him. Let's talk about LeBron. Yes, he did a great thing. He played well. He brought him back in a couple of games with the team on his back. I got to give him that. He didn't look like he was 39 years old. He didn't. He played with good players. He
With
played
great
well,
players. With great players.
but with great players. I mean, there was some that wasn't so great on the team, and we could have replaced them with some other guys. But anyway, they won the
Hey,
gold.
they
But
won the gold.
LeBron, Kevin Durant,
Mm-hmm.
Steph Curry,
Mm.
and some others really stepped up and played their game. I was disappointed with a couple of guys. And we
Mm.
could have used a Jalen Brown on that team
Mm.
without a doubt. But yeah, when LeBron has really good players around him that can hold their own, that can play their role, that can score some basket, that can block shots, rebound, pass, and be on the other end of a pass and play defense, he can win some games.
It
Like
looks totally different. It looks totally different. And we have to give a huge shout out to Steph Curry. I mean,
Yes.
he didn't have the best Olympic run, right? He had some games where he struggled and didn't shoot that well, but Steph Curry doing what he does best, making the shots when they count the most. I mean,
thank you, thank you.
gold medal on the line. Steph Curry hit some insane, unbelievable shots. They captured a photo of Steph Curry shooting over two defenders heavily guarded while KD and LeBron James both wide open on the other side. And that is arguably something that everybody can agree with is that that's the only player in the world that you would say shoot it while you
And can get
have
away with it.
and get away with it. Nobody bats an eye while you have two future Hall of Famers wide open on the perimeter. So an outstanding game. I thought Team USA really rallied together and pulled it together in the Serbia game and in the game against
Mhm.
France in the gold medal game. They really brought it together. I do want to give a shout out somebody who changed my perspective of them after USA basketball is Devin Booker.
Oh
I,
Mm.
yes. Hmm.
he had one of the most pivotal roles playing the point guard position with a team of OGs, not only OGs, but future Hall of Famers here that we're talking about. And I was so impressed by his performance, his ability to run the offense and be a true point guard. I mean,
That's
as
that
we
Mississippi in him.
is
Yes,
he
sir.
is that where he's from?
He's
Well,
originally
he grew
from
up
Michigan, but
there.
he grew up. He
Yeah.
grew up his high school days in Moss Point, Mississippi. It's
Hmm.
about as big as
The stop sign
300,
across the street.
people or something like
Got it.
that.
Okay. If
Maybe
you blink,
about,
you might miss it. Okay.
yeah,
That's it.
there you go.
So Devin Booker, what an outstanding performance. I mean, watching him play, I got to watch him in a different light. I personally have never enjoyed watching Devin Booker. I think that he is a prolific scorer. I think he
Oh,
has a natural talent to score. I mean, he reminds me of like a Kevin Durant, where the scoring just
mhm.
comes so fluid and so easy. But that Chris Paul behavior that he does, that throwing his neck back and doing all of the throwing his body to try and draw a foul. I mean, I didn't see not one hint of that performed in the Olympic Games. I mean, he was out there like a true point guard. And I think that Devin Booker really is the silent killer
Mhm.
that pushed Team USA to the gold.
Yeah, he had a really good game in that Serbia game. He really stepped up. Also, he had some big shots in the France game. Overall, it was really, really good. And when you talk about Steph Curry, it reminded me of Caitlin Clark shooting that logo shot
Ooh.
and making it several times. And then I like at the end when he goes, night, night.
Yeah, that I was screaming, Ron. I
He was
was
screaming.
screaming. Oh, I was screaming. I was in the
Man,
house.
I wish I would have had a video on that.
Oh,
Man,
I acted
such
a
a beautiful
plum
picture.
fool. Okay, I acted a fool. It was
Like
such a
you
good
said,
game.
she said I ate the plum.
It was such a good game, Ron. It was such a good game.
Oh yeah, I watched the whole game. I was glued to the TV set. You know, it was nip and tuck. I couldn't believe that they were behind and stuff like that, and they tied it up, and then they went away, and then Steph got hot at the right time, and Durant made some big shots, as you said. Booker made some big shots. Alaba came in and made some good plays. Anthony Davis made some good plays. Kevin Durant showed his true colors by coming out. It was a really good game, and they played defense and they
It was
rebounded
so
at a
good.
phenomenal height.
Let me ask y'all this question. No one
Okay.
is saying anything about Joel Embiid's performance.
Well,
Definitely got to touch on it.
you know what? You're right. You're right. He did have a real good game.
But
I think it was the third game or maybe the fourth game, but
but
but he really didn't make a difference in the last two games, in my opinion. But he did play defense and he did rebound and he did show up in one game where he played
so
really well.
is it safe to say he could have been replaced with someone else?
Mm.
Do you think that he basically just stole a roster spot?
Well, I think several people stole some roster spots, but
Specifically him, though. Specifically
okay.
him.
No, I think he earned his worth. I think he did pretty good. I think he showed up. I think he showed up and did what he needed to do. Of course, he didn't play
Mhm.
against a team from Africa because that's where he's from, and he didn't want to do it because he knew that if he would have played, they was gonna he probably couldn't go back to Africa if he would have played against them. It was a political move, and it was good that they didn't put him in the game.
Right. No, I do have to agree. We do have some comments from David Burns coming in Cedar Hill, Texas. He wants to take the time out to congratulate Caitlin Clark for breaking the
Woo-hoo.
WNBA rookie record. Thank you for pointing that out, David. We will circle back to that later in the show when we highlight our WNBA girlies. And Jay Mitchell says he got a free gold medal in reference to Joel Embiid. Now,
I
I would
agree with you on that one, Jay. My my point exactly.
Who
I
would
would
you, Mac? Coach Mac? Who would you
Man,
put in
at
that
that
spot?
Win.
moment,
Who would you put in that spot?
it seemed like it could have been anybody. I mean, just it was just certain performances that he didn't do at critical points, turning over the ball, flopping on the floor, not playing really good defense. I mean, it's just come on now. We this is the Olympics, so you can leave that in the USA, not when you come over here for that. And I feel like out of all the people, he had the worst performance, in my opinion.
I
and
think
that's
Jason Tatum, in my opinion, had the worst
Well,
performance.
he barely
no
got to play,
no.
so
Well, you know what? I got word they said Jason Tatum went and reported Kerr to HR, and now Kerr. They
That's
said
a good
Kerr.
one.
ooh,
They said Kerr no longer going to be the coach for Team USA, and they're
cut that one
looking at it
short.
being Tyronn Lue and Eric Spo. So I really think like there, as you guys know, I heard a lot about the Jason Tatum not playing, given that he's from St. Louis and I'm living in St. Louis. So
Oh yeah, oh
you could
yeah.
imagine the talk that was going around St. Louis about why JT isn't playing,
Mhm.
and um, I am still curious though. I would like to know why. You mean to tell me Jason Tatum couldn't get any burn in some of these games? Like not no tick, no 5 minutes. No, I mean by the end of the game, him and Halliburton are pulling splinters out of each other's shorts. You
Well,
know,
you know what, Coach? He got in the game and he really didn't show any offensive effort. He really didn't play much defense. His players kept running by him and scoring. He really didn't. He really just didn't show up. It's like he just wasn't interested in playing. And maybe it's because maybe him and Steve Kerr bumped heads, and he just felt like, you know what, I'm done. I'm just going to sit here and you know do what I do, cheer the team on, or just be here. I'm here. I made the team, but I like that HR analysis. I like that. The EECO going to get a request from him.
he had to put a complaint in. Now, this is on the flip side of that coin though, for people who just are don't understand or maybe watching it from the perspective of, well, he won a championship. They just won. He should be playing. He has the biggest contract in NBA history. Well, on the flip side of that, this is the Olympics. This isn't the NBA. That's one. Two, the position he plays is behind LeBron James and Kevin Durant.
Right.
Mhm.
So if they're performing, where do you see yourself coming in at? And I mean, granted, LeBron could have shifted to another position, but Devin Booker was doing his job. I mean, they were getting what they needed. Drew Holiday, they did their job as point guards.
That's
They
right.
facilitated well, they controlled the pace of the game well. I wouldn't have there's no need to switch Bron to point in those. They did their job. So playing behind KD and Bron, I guess when were you going to get in? Especially the way that those two put on a show during this Olympic tournament.
And let's not forget, his teammate White came in the game and played well too.
He
He
did.
did.
He did. Now, speculation that I was wondering just on the flip side is, do you think there might be a little nagging injury that they decided to keep hush hush and not really play him? Or do we just genuinely think he just didn't get in?
I don't know. I mean, it's going to all come out in the wash. Later on they're going to come up with some stuff. You just
Mm-hmm.
got to keep your ear to the ground. Or it's going to be where they're going to say, hey, he just wasn't ready. He just
Well,
stepped. He did
his
step.
mama want to know when y'all find out. Let us know because they trying to figure out the same thing too. So
I
I
like
don't
that.
think it's an injury. It's got to be something else. But when y'all find out, let us know because we trying to figure out the same thing too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That
That's
is that is a great point. But two gold medals for the basketball team, Team USA women's side. Diana Taurasi becoming the most
Hey
decorated
now,
Olympian with
hey
6
now,
gold medals.
Oh, there she go with that UConn stuff.
hey
Yeah.
now.
This is her time to pop her collar, Ron. This is her time to
I know. I
pop her
see it. I
collar.
see it. I'm going to ask this question before we move on. Down to Rossi. I don't, was she like just there for that gold medal, or did she earn her right to play on the team? Because she played like the first half sometimes, and the first quarter sometimes, and barely played the third and fourth quarter.
hmm
Coach Mike, what do you think?
I think of her because I mean, and this just based off of what she stated because this is it for her when it comes to the Olympics.
Mhm.
Right.
So I think she's probably there more as a mentor, supporter, being there when you need her. So she's I think is in that mindset. So
Hmm.
I would let her do it, considering that this is her last year. So why
Mhm.
not?
Hmm.
I mean, what would it hurt? It's not like that she's not producing or can't produce because she actually did for the most part when she did go in. So
So it's like she's making her
her
final
yes, her farewell.
exit. Yeah, her
Yes.
farewell. Yeah, okay. I'll take that. That's a good analysis. So,
Well,
what do you think, Coach Johnson?
Well, Diana Taurasi came out and made a statement, and she said, "Why is it that I'm being chastised for being in my 40s with the
Mhm.
ability to still play at this level, but men are being celebrated for being able
Hmm.
to play past 35 and play at a high level? They get celebrated while I'm getting scrutiny."
Yep.
And I have to agree with her on that,
Yeah,
because
I agree. I agree.
if I'm the coach, I'm giving Diana Taurasi a roster spot for the Olympic gold medal for her last one as well too. I mean, she's a vet. She's the
hmm
most decorated Olympian in basketball with 6 gold medals. I
Hmm.
really think that it wouldn't have been right to not have her simply because of her age. And
hmm
because yes, you have other players that are playing, but Diana Taurasi knows how to play in tight game situations. She knows how to lead her team and how to coach them up in tight game situations. She's a voice out there on the floor. I mean, it's so many advantages to having a vet of her level who, like you said, Coach Mac, she's going in, she's still producing.
Oh yeah.
hmm
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And if I'm 42 and I'm still producing and I know, my capabilities, hey, put me in, coach.
You
Yeah.
know you got it. You know you got it, girl. You know you still got it. You playing with us now.
Hey,
You're
let me get
playing with
a gold
us. You know you
medal.
still got it.
And so I do want to congratulate Diana on her ability to play that long. As a woman, we know it is difficult to play at a
It
high
Oof.
level at that age. I mean, we just are injuries plague women. The
is.
hip
hmm
down injuries are just a nightmare for women as we continue to progress later into our career. So to see her still playing and to perform at a high level is a huge congratulations to DT on that, because
Yeah,
hmm
that is an accomplishment, and especially for her last Olympic to win the way they did. I mean, but Gabby Williams,
Ooh, let's talk about that UConn product there. Gabby,
oh,
Gabby, Gabby. I've been waiting for this moment because
you've been
listen,
waiting. Go ahead, coach. Take over.
waiting.
Take over.
So let's talk about how she is not able to. Well, first off, I think Angel Reese reached out to her about coming back to the sky.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. Angel Reese shouldn't have done that, but she did it.
but I understand why. So, I mean, Gabby Williams has always been a bucket. So please help me to understand where is the problem. And she really proved herself in this game, in the Olympics game. I
mhm.
mean, can we talk about that last bucket that she made?
Whew.
She
Come on
she was
now.
amazing, coach. She was
Come on
amazing.
now.
She was
That
amazing.
that that just it just does not happen just randomly. Like this is
No.
someone that's made. She's born for this moment. She's been practicing this moment. This is her moment. So
Mhm.
help me to understand WNBA, and it just makes me think about Odyssey Sims as I think about these moves that these teams
Obviously, oh my
make
goodness.
with these players that are actually productive. So it's like, what are we doing as an organization? So
No, that's a great point, Coach Mac. What is happening here? I mean, like you said, I did see she got picked up though to
Yeah,
Seattle Storm. Gabby
right,
Williams signed to
yes,
go to Storm.
right. She should
Huge
have.
pickup by the Storm,
yes.
especially with playoffs on the horizon. But granted, of course, I wanted Team USA to win, but a part of me wanted her to make that bucket and send it in overtime because I just love a good close game.
Ooh,
Right.
that was a good game,
It
baby.
was such a good. Oh, it was such a
I
good
was like,
game.
oh, don't tell me they're gonna lose that last game. I was like,
I
come on.
know.
And then all of a sudden, Asia Wilson, that's my girl right there. My that girl, whew, that
Yes.
girl's amazing.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Absolutely amazing. But overall, a great performance by Team USA on the basketball side. So we are happy to see that. But with we have some preseason stuff on the horizon for NBA and playoffs starting for WNBA. A few things I want to highlight with the NBA before we jump into WNBA. Zion Williamson. Ron,
Good out
I'll
there,
let you
Ron.
I'll let you take this one away, Ron, because your boy
Looking slim.
looking
My
slim
boy
and
is
trim.
focused. He's focused. He knows it is time for LeBron to pass the torch. They've been talking about everybody else. They hadn't mentioned his name. I got word out of New Orleans that he said, look, I'm going to be the next one, the next chosen one. And he said, look, I'm going to be like a 275 when I step between the lines, and they're going to say, Zion just stepped on the court. It's going to be over
Absolutely.
with.
I, Coach Mack, what are your thoughts?
Hey, I'm proud of him from getting that weight off for sure. That's not an easy task, and that's definitely going to increase his speed, obviously, and other abilities too. So kudos to Zion for really just turning the whole narrative around. Because at one point, I mean, it was looking pretty rough for a brother, and we thought everything was going down here. Is he still going to be in the lead or not? So
Mhm.
kudos to Zion. Proud of him for the moves that he's making. Looking forward to seeing what this next chapter is going to be.
And one more thing about Zion. Zion, what motivated him the most that I got word on is that he wasn't on this Olympic team.
Mm,
That's a good one.
that is a good one,
That's what
especially.
motivated him. He wants to show
So,
everybody
glad
that
you
he
said
wants,
that. So,
he
would
wants,
you take Zion over Joel?
oh, of course.
Thank
But
you.
he's got to
So,
be focused. He's got to be focused the way he is now.
I mean,
Now,
that's fine,
I'm having a
but
question. I know
even on
everybody
a
has.
bad night, compared to how Joel has been performing, would you take Zion over Joel?
Mm,
Right now, I would. Okay. But back then, I had some question marks because he wasn't focused. Now he's focused. He's focused and he's ready. I'm gonna take him now.
Jay Mitchell said yes, anybody over that man. That man being Embiid.
Yes.
Now, I will say, now, Ron, you brought up a great point about Zion taking over the torch. Now, this is one thing I was having a conversation with Mr. Johnson about it, and I said, this is a great question I need to ask the crew because ever since NBA was rebranded with Jordan, right? I mean, don't get me
Okay.
wrong, Magic, Larry Bird, they had players, but viewership was down, engagement was down,
Mm-hmm.
NBA was on its way down, right? It's safe to say that. And they rebranded Jordan's the face, Jordan, above the rim and all of that started and the culture of basketball changed. Then you had Allen Iverson come in and then with Jordan, you had Kobe, so we didn't get any drop off because you had Kobe and they overlapped. And then Jordan retired, Kobe now that guy. And then LeBron comes in, overlap with Kobe. Now LeBron
Mm-hmm.
is that guy. We've missed an overlap.
Mm.
And at this point right now in time, my question and concern is who is going to be the person to create that overlap because the time is ticking. We are literally looking at LeBron's probably last 2 or 3 seasons. And I just think that is attributed to him wanting to be a father and focus on his, being present for his children and their activities, as well as he said physically, while I'm still able to perform, I'm in pain after every game. I mean, his body
Mm.
and I could only imagine, right? The travel, the high level that he plays at, how hard he goes naturally. I can see that. But we're missing an overlap that we haven't seen in years now. My question is, who do we think right now? And I wanted to get you guys' opinion
Ooh.
right now. Who is the closest to that overlap of Kobe and Jordan, and Kobe and Bron. Now Bron and
KD.
but KD's on KD's on, KD only has a few more seasons left too.
For right now, but Zion is like I said, he sees it. Somebody must
It's
have got into
open.
his head and told him like, "Hey, if you get your head together and you focus, you're next." Because, like you said, KD's ready to, hit the door pretty soon. Maybe what 3 or 4 more years, maybe 5. We don't know, but he still has it going on. Okay, which is really good. Anthony Davis is ready to hit the door. You know, Devin Booker, you never know. He may show up.
He might. I just want to know who's going to, and it seems who's going to take the backpack.
I don't
That's what
know.
I want to know.
Well,
Who's
I could
taking the
say
backpack?
who I would like to take the backpack, which
Okay.
is Anthony Edwards. That's who
Okay.
I would like to see take it.
Oh,
That's a good
Wimby.
pick.
Or Wemby, but Wemby is still Wemby. Yeah, Wemby.
Wimby could.
When
Wimby's
he,
a
Yeah,
when he
potential.
led his team in scoring in the championship game, he had a really good Olympics.
He did, but
yeah.
let me tell you, Ron, as long as Wimby plays for the Spurs, I don't know if it could be Wimby.
He's
Spurs,
too
He played
safe.
for the Lakers.
Wemby is too safe right now. It's not
Wimby,
that he can't be or he's not producing or productive. It's just he doesn't have that killer instinct that we're
he's
looking
a
for.
European player.
He's safe.
he's a safe player. Yeah, he
He's
plays.
safe.
He's not. We're looking for that boom. Who
Mm.
If
had
he
that
played for the
boom?
Lakers, would you take him?
Of course, I take him. Of course,
I'm
we'll
talking
take.
about would he be the guy?
I don't. Would he be the guy for the NBA? I
Yeah,
don't
if he
know.
played for the Lakers.
That's the thing. He doesn't have that boom factor to me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like when I think of that boom factor, Jordan got that boom factor.
Yep.
Kobe, the boom. LeBron, the boom. Even KD as a prolific scorer. You
Oh,
know,
he's got it.
KD is coming with the hammer, right? But
Right.
who has that? Like Wemby doesn't have that. He's a freak of nature. Yes, absolutely. Watching him is just amazing, watching how well he moves at his size and his
But
ability
Zion's
to
the only other
score.
person I know that brings the boom.
And well, I see some comments. We have Jay Mitchell said Anthony Edwards, and it looks like Mr. Johnson said Anthony Edwards, and Jay Mitchell said Coach Mac, let's be besties.
Of
looks like you guys
course.
are in agreement about
Of course.
Anthony Edwards definitely being that guy. But I think I might agree with you, Ron. I think this new slim and trim Zion might be a different, because look at how well he was moving with the extra weight he had. I mean,
Mhm.
he still moved very well slow in terms of
Mhm.
he fatigued faster.
Mhm.
But imagine this size Zion with the capabilities that he has. I'd imagine that it probably is going to look like his athleticism has increased.
Man.
Yeah.
And he averaged like almost 24, 25 points this past NBA season, too. Just think of what he's going to do now that he lost all that weight. Oh, my
I'm
goodness.
That's a good point, Ron. I think I'm leaning. I'm really between Anthony Edwards and Zion, expect the new Zion. But we'll have to see how the first 2 months of games go and adapting and him adjusting. But I was happy to see now on the horizon of that the most anticipated comebacks into the NBA. I wanted to get you guys. Who do you pick will have the biggest and best comeback? Just a prediction between Lonzo Ball, baby brother LaMelo Ball, John Morant, and Ben Simmons.
Oh, Ja all day. All day, every day.
Thank you. Case closed,
That's a
John.
no-brainer.
A no-brainer.
All day, every day. I'm
All
ready for it. Ready
Coach,
for
Coach, we on the same page, girl. We on the same page. We on the same page.
Listen, Angel.
She did. That's why we did ignore that.
Listen, Angel. He's making a return to the NBA. I have to include him.
it. He'll be there.
He'll be there.
No, you didn't have to include him. You just, you could have said he's making a return, but you didn't have to include him.
Yeah. I do agree that it has to be Ja. I do agree that it has to be Ja.
Oh, yeah.
Now, One of the last bits that I have for NBA before we jump to our WNBA girlies, because playoffs are on the horizon. But I wanted to talk about the money being made in the NBA next season of the highest paid players for the 2024 season. And then I want to go, do they deserve this money? Now,
Mm.
we have Steph Curry, of course. He is going to be the highest paid for 2024 season at $55.7 million. Steph Curry, you've earned it. You deserve it.
Yes.
No question. Sign the check. Now, Jokic and Embiid, they're both going to be at 51.4 million for the season. What are our thoughts?
I'm not turning it down. I'm
Okay.
signing the check. I'm taking the money.
Now, is Embiid worth 51.4 million to be second highest paid player for the season of 2024?
He may not be, but guess what? He ain't gonna turn it down.
And for those of you,
Look, who in third place? Let me see
yeah,
who
who's in third?
place.
Who's
Can
in
we
third?
swap?
Okay.
Can we swap that second and third?
Yeah, listen. Well, him and Jokic are tied. Him and Jokic are tied.
I
And
can give Jokic that.
Jokic
Yes.
can get that. Jokic can get that. But Embiid, KD at 51.1 million.
Of
Can we
course.
swap
KD,
that?
sign the check.
Sign the check.
Now, this one, I'm sorry to any of my St. Louis viewers that are watching, but Brad Beal is stealing a check from the Phoenix Suns. He is stealing. Coach Mack, be prepared to pick your job. Brad Beal is going to make $50.2 million for the 2024 season.
Woo! Yeah, he's stealing a little bit of money, but guess what? I'll take it too, Brad. Really, I'll take it.
You'll take it? Okay.
I'll take it. They giving it to me. I'm gonna take it.
I think somebody did a typo and didn't realize what they put on there. Somehow he slid up in there. I don't think that was supposed to be his name.
Brad really slid.
He
didn't get a full season. And Embiid, the only thing he should have had is a Mickey D's Unhappy Meal.
Oh.
For those of you that don't know, our amazing producer behind the glass, Angel Martinez, is a huge Phillies fan. However, what you all didn't see is when I mentioned how much money Embiid was getting, we got a major finger wag that he should not be receiving this money.
No, he shouldn't be receiving it, but I ain't gonna turn it down.
Absolutely. And these are gonna be the last two I'll list off because I am, the other ones I'm like, okay, they should get this money. Cat and D Book, they're getting a good amount. Jaylen Brown, he's getting paid, and they all three of them have earned it. But Paul George and Kawhi Leonard, the most underwhelming duo that we have seen in a long time. I mean, the most underwhelming superstar duo. Let me put that in front of it because these are two guys we would categorize as superstars in the NBA, essentially. Mm-hmm. They're both getting $49.2 million for the 2024 season.
Whew.
I don't think I agree with that. I don't think I can agree with that. I think it'll be interesting to see how Kawhi Leonard plays for the Clippers this year.
Mm-hmm.
If he'll play and what that will look like. But what are you guys' thoughts on Kawhi's season now that Paul George is gone?
Man, that's going to be interesting to see how and then when I think about his days when he was with, that's going to be kind of tough to really see. But at the same time, he is the Claw. So he showed up once when he was healthy. But I don't know. That's going to be kind of tough to see how he play out this year.
Now,
how long he's going to last.
Coach Mack, did he show up or did everybody on the Warriors get injured?
Not for the Clippers. I'm not talking about this team. No,
okay.
We're talking about Toronto. So definitely not for the Clippers. Yeah.
I'm talking about on the Warriors. Did he show up?
Yes,
or
injuries
were they
was
all
a huge
injured?
factor. That's
No, he
true
showed
too.
up at
But he
Toronto,
showed up.
Okay.
He did show up. I gotta give him that. He
and with
did
the
show up in
Spurs.
that series. Yep, he showed up. So,
Now,
but
But
yes,
with the
you are
Clippers, he
correct.
was hurt.
Injuries did play a huge factor into that series, but Kawhi
Right.
overall still showed up.
And don't forget, he was on the Olympic team until he said, "I can't go."
He did. Who
well,
said that though?
well, you know what? I think that was probably from the Clippers organization, because if I'm the GM or coach or president, how are you going to go play for Team USA when you didn't even finish out the season here?
True.
Well, you know who told him that? His coach was on the bench.
Yeah.
Luke. He was on the Olympic bench. He was like, no. Get your butt back on.
Yeah, yeah. Please try and make it through a whole season. And I
Yeah.
know injuries, you can't control them sometimes, right? Well, majority of the time. You cannot control an injury, but at the same time there are additional steps that can be taken to help manage. And
Mhm.
so I would love to see Kawhi Leonard get through a full season with the Clippers.
Yeah.
It would be nice to see that happen, but big money being made, and we shall see how the season comes out. But right now, I think my vote is definitely this season. Who I expect to see big things from. My top three is Zion, John Morant, and Anthony Edwards. I expect to see some big performances from the three of them this year.
I agree.
Coach
I
Mack, do you
agree.
have anybody you want to add in on that?
I'm pondering over here. I feel like there's one that's left out. I just can't think of exactly who it is right
SGA,
now, but it'll come to me.
SGA,
Oh yeah,
SGA.
for sure.
SGA, absolutely. Which he played pretty well for Canada
Yes, he
in the
did.
It
Olympics.
did.
Hmm.
He played really well. It was good to
Hmm.
see. And this was also the most NBA players that played internationally for
Right.
their countries that Team USA has had to play against.
And you got to
Hmm.
remember, I can't remember the French player's name, but he just signed a contract with the
I
Gershon,
Boston
did
yes,
see that.
indeed.
I did see that.
for being
Yes.
able to slam it on LeBron.
Oh, that
Oh,
was
did he slam it
not
on
a
LeBron?
dunk.
I'm
That
sorry,
was
I didn't mean to say that. But
here you go,
he
Ron.
did slam
Here
it on LeBron though. He
Ron,
faced the
LeBron was
nation.
taking
He
a
faced the nation.
charge. That
He
don't
faced the
count.
nation.
Wait, hold on. Now
I'm
let's talk about how LeBron was trying to take that charge, because from the look that I got, the angle that I got, he looked like he barely wanted to touch him, and he just, I'm going here and fall on
He
back.
didn't want none of that. He
But
faced
Now,
the nation,
I
girl.
now,
mean, he
Ron,
came a poster kid.
Ron, if LeBron went and met him at the rim, that'd be the poster we'd see right now. We
Yeah, we
wouldn't
saw the
see.
poster.
We
We
wouldn't
saw the
see
poster
the.
of him slamming on LeBron. We saw that poster. Yes, I did see it. You
And it
didn't
was,
see it? I'm gonna have
I'm mad.
to send you that. I'm gonna pull up on my phone. I'm
I
gonna
think
send
I'm
it to you.
good, Ron. I think I'm good. I think
I
I'm
just wanted to
good.
know you missed it. You missed
I think I'm good. Now, Brandon chimed in saying, "Give that munyon back, Brad."
it.
Brad is running off with the bag indeed. And also, Clippers have the new stadium, but no stars. Same
Ooh,
old Clippers. Mm,
That's your hometown.
it
nice thing.
is. It
But you
is.
don't like
And
the Clippers, do you?
I mean, I like the Clippers because they're a home team, but it's like the Clippers are like the redheaded stepchild
Okay.
to the lake in LA.
I
I
see
mean,
what category you put them in.
you'll always be like the little cousin, right? Like you to the Lakers. It doesn't matter what you do. They can never get over the hump. I would love to see the Clippers get over the hump though. I would love to see that.
Okay,
It
I
would
got
be nice, especially with the investment that went into the team. They built a new stadium, and I mean, putting a stadium in LA, putting property anywhere in California is so
you.
expensive. So to make that investment into the organization, I would love to see them finally get over the hump. But with what team? With what team? They don't even have it. Paul George gone.
They're gonna pull it together. Just give them a little time. Give them a little time. They're gonna pull
Okay,
it together.
Ron. Okay, we'll see. We'll see pending. But who's pulling it together on the WNBA side, right
Ooh,
now, between the two rookies, I have to talk about them. And I know David mentioned it earlier in the show. Caitlin Clark becoming the the leading scorer. She broke the record for
mhm,
assist all
Assist.
mhm.
time for rookies, and Angel Reese becoming the fastest WNBA player to 20 double doubles.
Reese's
Yeah.
Pieces.
I tell you what, I call Caitlin Clark Dimes. Caitlin Dimes Clark, because she be throwing them dimes. But I mean, she made a pass the other day from from 3 quarters down the court to this girl. I was like, Caitlin, how did you see her? I didn't even see her wide open. She threw that thing in, poof, hit her like right in the hand. She laid it up. I was like, now I like that. I like that. Way to go, Dimes. Yeah,
Yes.
she's good. She's good. She can play.
Now,
Yeah.
imagine if Caitlin played with the Aces or a better
Ooh,
quality team where they're looking for those
don't do that
passes.
to the Aces. Don't give the Aces all of
That'll
that.
that'll
They
be
got a
tough
good hand right
between
now. Don't give them
yeah,
all
because
of
that'll
that.
be tough between her and Chelsea. Because that's pretty much what that battle is gonna be between those two.
It
And
is.
that'll be yeah, I can't that'll be hard there.
It'll be
Yeah,
tough because
that'll be tough. That'll be tough.
Chelsea is going to get minutes. Like
Right.
you can't not have Chelsea out there at certain
She's,
times of the game. She absolutely has to be out there.
she's
Yes.
ridiculous sometimes.
And
That girl can
Kelsey
shoot the
Plum
ball.
is
My
usually the backup point guard when she's not in. So are you gonna say Caitlin's gonna be a backup point guard to Chelsea?
They won't
Can't
have
do
that.
that. Can't do that.
They
she's
won't
the face
have
of
that. But I'm just
she's the
thinking,
face of the WNBA right now. Caitlin Clark.
yeah, the idea of her playing with a better team, though. Imagine what her assist record would be
Ooh,
compared to what it is now. And she has, I don't want to call them subpar because they're still WNBA players who have tremendously talented, but when you put it together, sometimes it doesn't always make a great team. And
mhm.
as we know, that is kind of the situation that's going on with them. But I mean, Caitlin Clark had an incident a few games ago. And I
Mhm.
don't know if you guys got to see, but I wanted
I
to
saw
get you
it.
guys' thoughts on that. So for those of you that don't know what transpired, the ref made a call. Caitlin is trying to kick the ball to her teammate to take out of bounds while she's going to come back inbounds to get the
Mhm.
pass. While she's out of bounds, she smacks the padding on the basket that's attached to the basket. And the ref immediately gave her a technical and told her that she's disrespecting the game of basketball.
I
I
thought it
want
was ridiculous myself.
if you
I
can
did.
elaborate.
Well, I mean, hitting the pad, she just like was frustrated and she just hit the pad. I mean, come on.
I mean, there's other players out there hitting other players, but you want to
Yeah, I
give
mean, come on.
a
That's
tech for hitting a pad?
exactly what
Like
I'm
that's
saying,
what we
Chris.
doing?
That's exactly what I'm
They're
saying, Chris.
fighting each
She didn't
other.
hit nobody. She was just frustrated and she hit the. I see myself kick the wall at one
Mm,
time when I was playing. Like, dang, I shouldn't have done that, but I kicked it. But the referee didn't come after me. Come on, I thought that
yeah.
was ridiculous.
No, it is. And it's interesting because I feel like college they're a little bit more strict on the type of things you can do, but the amount of times I've seen players hit the wall
Yeah,
or hit the pad and
hit the floor. They slammed the
yeah,
floor like,
Or
smack
somebody.
yeah.
or if you're Draymond, yes.
Coach Max said, "Oh, somebody."
Oh no, the women they trust me, they're pretty catty too. I've seen some elbow shots and some other hits in
Yeah,
the huddle.
y'all slick with
Hey,
y'all.
they
Y'all
just as
really
physical.
slick. I was looking at a pick the other day that they called a foul on, and they showed it like 6 times, and it came into a competition to where the two girls were going to fight.
Mm,
I kept looking at it. I was like, "What did she do to her?" I didn't see it. She hit her with an elbow or something. But I know one thing: they were going to fight,
mm.
and they had to break it up. They gave both of them a T. And I was like, well, what happened? I didn't even see it. Y'all got some slick stuff going on, y'all women.
Oh
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely, absolutely. Also, let's talk about the Twin Towers rallying their team to a win after being down double digits in the fourth quarter between Angel Reese and Cardosa. I
Did you?
mean, go ahead, Ron.
I said, did you see that? That's all I was gonna say.
Yeah. What a performance by the two. I think for the first time, we really got to see a glimpse of the potential that Chicago Sky has with these two down there in that paint.
Mm.
Yes.
I mean, Cardosa had 15 points, 14 rebounds. Angel Reese was 14 points, 11 rebounds. I mean, just impressive. Absolutely impressive. Love to see that for the rookies. But how do you guys think that they'll fare as we start to get further along in the season with playoffs on the horizon?
I think they're gonna get a lot better, especially since they're now gelling with each other. That's the main thing, is the chemistry. And it's
Mhm.
honestly something I've been waiting to see since the beginning of the season. Well, before the start of the season. It's just a matter of them learning how to feed off of each other. But to see how well they did that game, coming back from such a huge deficit, speaks volume, considering that they're rookies. So I'm just looking forward to seeing them progress, seeing them grow, because that's basically what's happening, is that they're growing. But they're going to do really good.
Exactly. I think that the rest did them all really good. Okay.
Yes.
And I think, like you said, Coach Mike, they starting to gel. They starting to understand what it is to be a pro.
Hmm.
Tina Thompson, look out. Angel Reese is coming to break that record, girl. She needs about 4 or 5 more games, which Angel Reese is getting together. Coach Spoon, I know they came out of the gate when they came back really slow. They didn't look really good, but it looks like they starting to, like you say, get that motor going, get that mojo going, and they starting to come back because they played a good game the other day. And like you said, that was awesome. That was awesome. And not only that, the Indiana Fever my window looks like that they are starting to kick it in too. With,
Yeah.
with Caitlin Clark having that rest. And then,
Yeah.
look, they went up by 31 points, which I thought that the Mercury was going to come back and win. But they ran out of gas. But that was something. That was a heck of a game to see. And Caitlin Clark dropped some dimes and made a couple 3-point shots, and they wound up winning it. But I think that this rest really helped both of those teams and maybe some other teams to where they're going in the playoffs. This playoff is going to be really, really good.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Well, coming into it, New York Liberty secured the first spot
Yes.
for the playoffs. Now, Coach Mack or Ron, do you want to go in a little bit into what the projections of who will make the playoffs for the WNBA?
Oh, not right now. For me, maybe Coach Mack would, but not for me. Not right now. I think it's a little bit too early. A little bit. What they have? What they have? Like what? 22 games left or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't know.
It might be a little less than
I was going to
22.
say, I think it's a little less than that.
Yeah,
They have a
because we're running into September now, so it's should be a little less than 22, I
Okay.
think.
Okay. I got to find out how many games they got left. I thought they had like 20 something games. I was going to wait till they get down to about 10 games, and I was going to give my prediction.
okay.
I definitely think Connecticut Sun for sure, the Liberty for sure. I think Ace is gonna sneak up in there
Hmm.
somehow. They're gonna sneak up in there. What other teams was I thinking
The
about?
Mystic, I mean, not the Lynx.
Yeah, Minnesota Lynx. So they're another one, and there's one more. I have to think of it, but for sure those three.
Who's
Yeah, I mean, you got the Dream that everybody, they were in there. You got the Fever that's looking really good. You
Now
know,
they may be the one to creep up in there too,
yeah.
Indiana Fever,
I do
The,
surprisingly.
think so.
and
I
the
think so.
Storm, but the Mercury. What about the Mercury's been like up and down so
They
much?
have.
That's why I say I want to wait a little bit. I don't know what it is. I mean,
It's been more
Grass.
split this season, though. I
Yeah.
think compared to last season, we're seeing kind of like teams that we would expect to win not winning, and
Yeah.
like certain teams that lost to one team but beat a team that was, better than the team they lost to. It's kind of been a lot of that going on, I feel like, and one team, and Coach Mack, you might want to speak a little bit more about this. One team that I'm disappointed to see is the Dallas Wings sitting
Oh
so low.
Lord have mercy. Cause look, listen.
Did you fall out of your seat? That's how I see
Don't stress me out right now. Cause see, they stressed me out during draft night, and I'm still upset about that.
Oh,
Cause
yeah, they took two of your players away, two of
like,
your Connecticut players away.
who's making the decision? That's why how and we just got rid of Odyssey Sims. Like I'm still trying to figure that part out.
Me too.
And it's
What
not
did she
like
do wrong, Coach?
that's what I'm trying to figure out. She came in being a walking bucket, and you got rid
What?
of her.
Uh,
I mean, and now Satu Sabali is coming back, but help me to understand.
She made somebody mad over there in Dallas.
I mean, somebody's just pissed. Like this ain't gonna work because
I,
Yeah, man. I
I
don't
I
know what's
was
going on.
I was confused about that too. I was very confused about that.
like,
I
huh?
Yeah, I'm like, "But you guys are struggling right now."
Yeah.
And
And
you
the
just got her
solution,
in.
the solution to the struggle was to get rid of Odyssey? Ah,
And the thing about it, y'all had some good players, like you said, Coach. Y'all got rid of them.
yeah.
That's what makes you scratch your head about the Dallas Wings. I mean, it's not like they didn't have any good players. It's like, what's going on?
And I'm actually going to watch them play against the Aces this month. I think it's on the 27th. It's the last Tuesday of this month.
Oh, oh,
Yes,
okay,
I'm
okay.
going to watch them. I'm
You're
looking
gonna be a
forward to
good
that
house.
game. I already got my tickets, so I'm ready.
That'll be fun. I hope
That's
I hope
great.
they make it a good game and it's not a blowout.
Ooh, girl,
I
they
know.
are.
Well, she's
I
for the
can't.
Aces anyway.
I am, but I can't with the Wings. They just
True. Now
they
speaking
stressing me
of
out.
speaking of those lady aces, Becky Hammond with a 2-game suspension
Whoo.
for some little scuttlebug that got out.
Ain't no scuttlebug. That's the truth, girl.
The Aces organization currently being sued along with the WNBA for the, let me see, what is it, mistreatment essentially of a former player who got pregnant and is accusing them of cutting her and preventing her from having access to her benefits because she got pregnant.
Mm.
What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Well,
Whew.
from what I heard and what I read, because I read the the indictment.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
I read the whole thing, and it was like 89 different little bullets that went down. It was like when they asked her to sign the contract, they said, "Well, we're gonna pay for your kids' schooling, and we're gonna pay for your house and everything like that." And she goes like, "Okay." And really, they wasn't supposed to pay for the kids' schooling.
That's
Mm.
what I'm
That was
surprised about.
that's a no in the WNBA. But
Mm.
they said we're gonna give a donation. That's how they got around it.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the first key right there. Okay, and they did it. Okay, then a month after she signs the contract, she finds out that she's pregnant. Okay, and she goes and she tells the general manager, and then she goes and she tells Becky, and then when it's time for the kids' tuition to be paid, she calls and say, "Hey, my kids, getting ready to go to school. Y'all got a tuition check ready?" They said, "We're working on it."
Mm.
All right. A week or so goes by. She calls them again. They say, "We're working on it." Okay. Then Becky calls her and starts asking us questions like, "Did you plan this pregnancy?" She goes, "No, I didn't plan it." You know, she goes, "But I'm gonna be ready, by the time the season starts. So, I'll be ready for camp and everything." But Becky was trying to, I guess he was recording the call because she was trying to get her to say some different things about this and that, and it come to find out that she was legit. She didn't know anything. She went through it. Then they start not paying her the kids' tuition. Then they took away the housing fund that the WNBA is supposed to pay all the players. They took away that, and then about 3 weeks after that, she found out she got traded. Okay, but when she got traded, what really helped her out was that she said that she had the baby. She went through the pregame practice. She was ready to go. She went through preseason, and she played the whole season,
Mm.
just like she told the Aces. So this is why I'm saying she's legit. The Aces, they messed up, and this is why they did an investigation. The WNBA did an investigation, okay, and the EECO did an investigation. That's why Becky Hammond got the 2-game suspension, and she could have got more. And
Mm.
that's why she said, okay, well, look, she got the suspension, so that gave her the leg up to go ahead and sue the WNBA and the Las Vegas Aces.
Wow, that's
Wow.
tough.
That is. And with the seriousness of the claims being made, for Becky to only get a 2-game suspension is very
Right,
interesting.
right. She some cases they would have kicked her out. She would have lost her
Absolutely.
job.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's an unfortunate thing that comes with women's basketball, right? That is pregnancies, because we heard something similar happen to Skylar Diggins
Right, right,
Yep.
just a couple seasons ago, right? And
right.
so, which is why she ended up in Seattle.
That's right.
Mhm.
And
Exactly the
so
same thing.
it's really hard, because how do you manage that, right? Um, how do you put a clause in the contract? How do you facilitate rules around that? It's very,
You know
very
what Becky told her? Becky told her, "You're playing in the WNBA. You can't get pregnant. You're playing in the WNBA." The girl was like, "What?"
right. Exactly. So I'm supposed to basically play and give an ounce of blood in order to remain a part of the team.
That's that was exactly what one of the quotes said in the indictment.
Wow. Now, there is one thing that I did forget to touch on as it relates to the NBA and things being said. And we're coming up on time, but I just want to close out, because you guys know I love to close out with something. Did you all get a chance to see Trey Young's interview that he did on the podcast about incoming NBA players?
I did not.
Okay, Trey Young made a comment and said that the current incoming NBA players that they are recruiting are not franchise players. They are nothing more than great role players.
Mm. Talking about
Hmm
that number
Hey,
one
y'all said
player.
that?
Trey Young said this. He said they are not players that are guaranteed like it used to be to come in and be your franchise player. And he said the last player from his perspective that had that guarantee when you go and you watch them and they were recruiting him is Anthony Edwards.
I
And
can
they
see
said
that.
since then they have not been recruiting players that are coming in to be franchise players. Said all of these players will have to go into G League development, but none are coming in NBA ready to be franchise players.
Wow, wow. That says a lot for not only high school but college basketball players.
Mm.
Speaks volumes.
It speaks volumes because Cooper Flag is a guy that I don't know. He's ready. He could have made the Olympic team. That's what a lot of people are saying. He can play with the Olympics guys. So for Trey to say that, come on, Trey.
Well, granted, Cooper Flag hasn't made it there yet.
No.
So I don't know if Cooper was a part of, because he mentioned Alex Sarr, right? The number 2 draft
Mhm.
pick. He mentioned him as one of his examples of guys that they've recruited, they've selected, they've picked up, and they've picked these guys that are obvious, no guarantee to come in and be ready to be your star franchise player.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's why I've said it. I can see him and see why he made that comment, 'cause especially thinking about how Summer League went for the number 1 and number 2
Right,
players.
right. And
So,
that's just French guys.
yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, just something to sit with, something to think about, and something that we can definitely discuss next week. But we have hit our time here at Talking Hoops. What a great time. I've missed you guys. I'm happy that we are back. And, I'm glad I finally got to talk about my boy. Mama, there
Oh,
goes that
what
man.
time is it? What time is it, man? 8? Coach,
And
let's get off this thing, man, because he done said enough about LBJ.
Ron, there's never enough to say. There's
I
never
know,
enough
right?
to
It's a
say.
Laker. It's a Laker.
And
It's a Laker thing. I'm gonna
and you
get
know
used
what,
to it. I'm gonna
Ron?
get used to it. I'm gonna get used to it.
Listen, everybody is going to miss watching basketball with LeBron James in it. And I think that there's people who are just so anti-LeBron that they're not understanding the impact of what the NBA will look like without LeBron James playing.
Just like Jordan, huh?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean,
Just like
it was,
Kobe.
but see, the thing is like we had Kobe that was there when Jordan was stopping. So it was like, okay, we gonna miss you, Jordan, but we got another guy that play above the rim and he do the same moves you do, except he just put a little spin on it. And it was like, Kobe, we gonna miss you. You the Black Mamba. But we got Bron, we got the king now, and it's
Oh,
okay. But now we don't have so that's why I say people are going to miss it until we get that X factor that's going to be in that category that we put those other three in.
the Z is coming, baby. The
Hey,
Z
it
is
might.
coming, baby.
Hey, he might be ready for a nickname
The, Z-
soon,
the
Ron.
Z is coming, baby. Zion's coming, baby. He's coming.
You have to be stamped in order to get a nickname. Zion doesn't have a nickname yet, so we'll see if his nickname comes this season.
Stay
But
tuned. Stay tuned.
stay tuned. Thank you all so much for tuning in. It's your girl, Coach T, joined by Coach Mack and Ron Briscoe, signing out on Talking Hoops. We'll see you all next week.
See y'all later.